Hey guys, quick review here. So this is something that you learned previously, but I just want to do a quick review so that in case you come across problems like this, you remember how to do it. So the very first thing that I want to show you and remind you is how to turn fractions to percents. So if we are taking a fraction and we are converting it to a percent, all you need to do is take that fraction, for example, 2/5, and we're turning it into a percent, and percents are out of 100, so we can make a proportion. We're looking for this. So there are two ways you could do this. We could use cross products like we've been using to solve our proportions. 5 times x would give us 5x equals 2 times 100 is 200. We want to isolate the variable, so we divide by 5 on both sides. So we get x equals, now I can divide 5 into 20 4 times and then add my 0 at the end, which is 40%. So this here, x would equal 40%. The other way that you could do it would be 2 out of 5 equals x out of 100. Again, you set up your proportion. Here, I know that 5 times 20 will give me 100, so I multiply the numerator by 20 also, and then that will give me x equals 40%. So there are your two ways to go fraction to a percent. The next one we're going to take a look at very quickly is a percent to a fraction. Well, that pen doesn't work. So we'll just stick with this one. All right, so a percent to a fraction. So when we do a percent to a fraction, in this case, if we have 32%, remember percents are out of 100, so it's just 32 out of 100. And then you need to always remember to simplify if possible. So in this case, 32 and 100, we can divide them by a bunch of different things. But if you start with 2, 32 divided by 2 is going to give us 16. If we divide this by 2, it's going to give us 50. And then if we divide each of these again by 2, we get 8 over 25. And at this point, we are completely simplified. All right. Now, the next one that we have is a percent to a decimal. So if we want to do a percent to a decimal, for example, 42%, here you're basically taking 42 and dividing it by 100. When you do that, it's the same thing as moving your decimal point 2 places to the left. So if my decimal point in 42 is this, 42.0, we move back 1, 2. We put our decimal point here, so our answer then would be 0.42. So you can either divide by 100 or move decimal to left. So 2 places to the left. So that would be the answer for that. And then decimal to a percent. So when we do a decimal to a percent, this one, if we have, for example, let's say we have 0.364. So if we want this as a percent, we're basically going to take 0.364 and multiply it by 100. So that's one way you can do it. Multiplying by 100 means that we just move our decimal point 2 places, this time to the right, and you put your new decimal point in. So that gives us 36.4%. So in this case, we moved decimal to to the right.